Okay, good morning, my dear students. Class 9. So today we will start chapter number 3rd in economics and talk about economics part in SST. So lesson number 3rd is that is related to the poverty as a challenge. Poverty as a challenge. The third chapter is. So poverty as a challenge. Last time we have gone through some, but so let us start from the beginning. Okay, from the very beginning. So this particular concept is very familiar with all of you. You people know and aware about the poverty. Okay, so this is the not a very new concept for all of us. But so we had to go thoroughly what other points should be considered while we address this particular point or concept. So the most difficult challenge which is faced after independence government of India to how to tackle the problem of poverty. Okay, so that time means after independence means I'm talking about 1947 onward. So that time poverty percentage of the poor in India were more percentage. Poverty ratio was very high. Okay, because if you see for the last 200 years or before that, if you talk about Mughals and if you talk about Britishers and other foreigners, so they ruled for a longer period of time. Okay, for centuries and centuries. You may talk about that for the last 7 to 8 centuries. Okay, so Indian resources were exploited by the different uh, we can say looters or those we can say government or person or organization. uh, so it was not easy for the government of India or for India to run on the track after independence. So how to settle down the things, and main thing was the poverty, because resources we had, but those resources were exploited by the others. So how to explore the new resources and how to unite the country and use the available resources in the proper way. So that was the main challenge. Okay. Because if you talk about the Britishers, so they did not pay the attention toward the development of irrigation, agricultures, and infrastructure companies. So they were concerned with their profit and profit only. Okay. So that time we had some political means social issues also. Okay. So many we had number of problems. So actually, see, when we are not happy with our day-to-day life, when people they are suffering for the two-time meal also, two-time meal, okay, shelter, clothes. So three basic points should be there. Okay, three basic points should be there. Asthma, uh, Asmita, see, wait, you people can go through these videos later on. Okay, generally what I do, I am keep on uploading. Afterward, I am giving one information or sharing. Okay, asking you people, please go through after the regular classes. Okay, as I have my classes, so sometime I am getting the spare time, or let one of the teachers not taking his or her class, or might be some other issues. So what I did, I want to utilize this time for, okay, for other classes also. So later on, rest of the guys and students they can go through. For this, I will be giving one message. Okay, so that time we had, okay, I was talking about the rural India. Okay, so people means during British time we had zamindari system, landlord system. So and they put number of penalties and also charge high tax, high land revenue from the farmers. So directly, indirectly, we can say they appointed one person, and that person was appoint, appointed to collect the revenue from the other persons, collect the revenue from the farmers. Okay, and he had not any interest interest for the growth of the farmers or tenant. Okay, so people used to live um, in, in the jungis also, we can say, or those who are the landless farmers. So what they did, they were completely dependent on the others. Okay, so whatever earned by them means they were the daily wage workers. Daily wage workers. Even what they did, they force their child to work. Okay, they force their children, we can say, to work with them, so that then there you might have seen some of the children, they are working on the dhabas and the restaurant tea stall. Though child labor is prohibited, but you might have gone through or railway stations. Okay, sometimes they are begging also. Very small piece. Whenever you travel by train or by bus, particularly by trains, so you might have experienced this. Very young kids, okay, maybe 4, 5 or 6 years old or less than 10 years, they also come begging. Okay, so according to one estimate, around 27, okay, after independence, around 27 crore people they were, uh, okay, not independent means right now if we talk about according to the data of 2011 and 12, so around 27 crore Indian people still they are below poverty line. So we have different type. Okay, so two typical cases of the poverty which we will discuss one by one. One urban case, okay, and rural case. Urban and rural case. So urban case, so in our book we have one story, okay, in the NCRT book. So there is one around 33 years old person. Okay, the name of the person is Mr. X. So he works on the daily wages. Okay, Mr. X, for example, Saran, R. Saran. So what he does, he works. He's a daily wage worker. Okay, in the wheat floor, for example, a wheat floor or cotton mill or any other mill, like any other cement mill. So he earn around like 3,000 or 4,000 per month. Okay, see if he is earning 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 rupee. Okay, at present means in the 2020. So see the prices of the basic goods are very high. Okay, so and let he have around three four children, then it is really difficult for that particular family to survive. Okay, and moreover he does not have his permanent house also, so he has to be dependent on for everything. He does not have even land, 2 hectare land or 3 hectare land, so completely dependent on the we can say completely dependent on the others, or for his to get income wages regularly he has to be dependent on others. Okay, because he's living in the urban areas, so in the urban areas he does not have his land or house or plot, okay, whatever. So he's working somewhere in the construction site sometime of whenever, means where there he is getting the opportunity, where there he is getting the job. uh, Sarah, bete, some other asked the same question, and let me brief you about the same. So you people can go through my uh, channels, okay, afterward. Got it? I'm not asking you people to go through right now. You can go through later on also with it. Okay. So this lecture will be uploaded afterward, means tomorrow, day after tomorrow. You can, whenever you will be getting the time, please go through. Okay. So this is about the urban areas. Okay, urban areas. So see, he does not have any land or house, so completely dependent on the others. Okay, so sometimes he's working on the construction site, another time hostel, okay, restaurant, dhabas. So means around 4 5,000 he is getting every month. Anyhow, he is able to survive and his family. Okay. So this is nothing but the example of the poverty. One more example is there, or that case is related to the rural areas, poverty in the rural areas. So there is a one person in the story that the name of the person is Lakha Singh. So he belonged to the small village. Okay. So in the book they have given Meerut in that place is situated located in UP. And in this case also he does not have any land. He does not own any piece of land. Does not own any piece of the land. So what he does odd jobs. Okay, odd jobs and having big family. Okay, uh, having around 6 to 7 family members. So he's working for the big farmers. Okay, and other person, and his per day income is not more than 120 rupee or 130 rupee left presently. So he is getting very less income. Okay, so he is completely dependent on the basic food only, basic food for the survival. So he lives in the kacha house, okay, like tent or somewhat like tent, okay. So he's looking after the animals of his neighbors, whosoever pay him any money. So this is another example of the poverty. Okay, this is another example of the poverty. So mm, when we talk about the poverty in the rural area, so few issues they are facing. What are those issues that is related to the poverty? First point is they are landless. Okay, means first important point, landlessness. Second, people they are unemployed, they don't have any jobs. Third, the size of their family is also large. We can say around 6 7 family members are there, and most of the family member or almost all the family member they are illiterate. They are not educated, followed by poor health and malnutrition. Okay, so their condition is not good. Malnutrition and poor health is there. Even their child is also working, so we can add one point: child labor. Okay, and help, helplessness. So nobody is helping, coming out and helping them. So these are the we can say important points which come under the poverty, or we can say these are the important points in our stories. Okay, or in two cases, in the two cases waited. So when people they are not educated, so definitely they cannot teach their children also, and they will not get the right jobs. Okay, so minimum education is always required to get any job. So if they are not educated, definitely they will get the odd jobs, and salaries or wages and income for the odd job worker is very low. Okay, when family members are more, again it is difficult for them to survive, and moreover they don't have land also. Okay, if land anybody having land, he or she can at least go for the farming. Okay, at least basic things he can get from the his or her land. So after independence, that was the main challenge to bring up this class above the poverty line after independence. After independence. Now next point, that poverty as seen by the social scientist. Okay, social scientist is a new word. Okay, so since poverty has many faces, if you talk about the social scientists, look at it through a variety of. So we have variety of indicator. Okay, to explain about the poverty or categorize the poverty. First indicator is that first and foremost indicator is income to determine or categorize the poverty. If income level is very low, okay, and income is also irregular, okay, and have not permanent jobs, so that will come under that we can say this poverty. Second point is also their income. First point income. Second point is related to the consumption. Consumption. Okay. So how much they are consuming, what kind of food they are using, whether it is nutrient or not. Okay. So that we have also seen. So when they are taking only basic things and not much more nutritions are there, automatically their health will be poor. Another point by which has been observed by the social scientists, right, that is illiteracy. Means they are not going to school and almost illiterate, not even first standard pass and second standard. So when they are illiterate, only basic, okay, they will be working as a labor only. So other social indicator like I told you about literacy and the lack of general resistance due to malnutrition. See, during this COVID-19 period, if the resistance power is not very strong, he or she will be suffering or okay, effect, okay, suffering more than others. So immune system we have to make much more stronger. Okay. So when we talk about the poor people, so they are not getting the healthy food, nutrient food. So their resistance power is also very low weighted or weak. We can say very weak. So it is due to lack of healthcare facilities or job opportunities, or even they don't have safe drinking water. See, this is the main major issue we can say, lack of safe drinking water. So people they are using open resources, open water resources, okay, or using the running taps, okay. They don't go for filters or pure, no, nothing like this they have, okay. So simply they are drinking the water where it is available for them. So due to this, there is the problem. There is effect on the liver also. Okay. Uh, Another problem that is related to the sanitation. Okay, sanitation. So these are the points which has been observed by the social scientist. Okay, social scientist. So income, consumption, whether illiterate, then health issue, and sanitation. So okay, so these are the points. Then resistance power. So next point that is related to the analysis of the poverty based on the social exclusion and the vulnerability is now becoming a very common. Okay, so what is a very common social exclusion and the problem of vulnerability? Okay, so here we will discuss now the social exclusion. So according to the concept, poverty must be seen in terms of poor having to live only in the poor surrounded with other peoples. Yes, let 10 people are there, 10 houses are there. So among 10, who is more poor? Who is more poor? So keeping in view or minding about the surrounding also. So when they are not enjoying the social equality, okay, or they are not better off than others, so that category also come under social exclusion. If you talk about the benefits or opportunities, so poor people they don't have much more opportunities as compared to the other people. They don't have much more opportunities as compared to the other people, and we have also some other issues in the society which should be overcome. Okay, so when you talk about the okay, working, okay, in the caste system in the country, caste system. So many people, those who belong to particular class, so they have been excluded from the equal opportunities. they have been excluded from the equal opportunities. So that comes under the social exclusion with it. So this is more, we can say, this has damaged the situation of the country much more. So these people, they don't have high income level, they don't have more sources for the income, or that they don't have the permanent income of the sources. So when they don't have permanent income sources, automatically their health, okay, health issue, health, they will definitely face the health issue, because we need good food, and if in case of falling sick, then they can also approach to the health department. So next point, that is related to the vulnerability. Okay, next point, that is related to vulnerability. So vulnerability to poor is a measure. So this described about the greater, okay, so greater probability of what? Greater probability of certain communities, okay, particularly backward classes, individual, okay. If you talk about the individual, then widows, physically handicapped person. So, so they are becoming and remaining poor in the coming years. So they remain in the poverty for the longer period of time. Okay, because nobody is there to look after, and they don't have any uh, support from the other end. So they are more vulnerable. Okay, if you talk about the backward classes and the widows, physically handicapped, and I, okay, uh, senior citizen, those who have been thrown out by their children, means children, they are not looking after them, or orphan, orphan widow, means small young children, okay, uh, those who have been overlooked by their parents or ignored by their parents. So vulnerability is determined by the optional available to the different communities for finding an alternative having living, okay, in term of what? In term of asset, in term of education, health and job opportunities. So all these, uh, they don't, these facilities, they are not availing, or they don't have access. And these particular group, they are facing more risk, means risk of what is, like there is an earthquake, volcano eruption, or tsunami, drought. So during this difficult time, tough time, okay, so they don't have enough food to eat, okay, they don't have a surplus food to eat. So these people, they are suffering more during the natural calamities. So more risk is there for this type of the people. So next point, that is related to the poverty line. Poverty line. So see, there is no any line which is marked on their houses, on their faces, on their body, or okay, anywhere. Okay. So this is a, but we have to use one concept. So this line actually marked by the income and consumption. Marked by the income and consumption. Okay, so 2 points are there. Means if we want to categorize a person below our poverty line, then we must have certain criteria. Okay, so sorry, sorry, sorry. So income and consumption. Income and consumption. These are the 2 points to determine the poverty of the any to determine the poverty rate. Okay, because these are the basic things. Okay. Means one should have minimum income, one should have minimum calories per day, okay, for their survival, for their best survival. Apart from this, poverty line also determine, okay, minimum level of food required, okay, then clothing, footwear, fuel, light, education, medical equipment. All these, okay, are the points which is also considered. But we have categorized all these things into two categories. One is income and consumption. So when we talk about the consumption, when we talk about the calories which are required for a person per day, so if we are living in the rural areas, if we are living in the village, so 2400 calories per person per day. 2400 calories per day per person is required. If you are living in the cities and doing white collar job, so around 2100 calories per day per person is required. Okay, so around 2100 calories are required per day per person. So this is about the consumption. Okay, so I told you about the calories. If you are living in the rural areas or those who in the rural areas doing physical work more and more, so minimum 2400 calories is required. If you are doing a white collar job, then 2100 calories is also required. Okay, in between you should have these vegetables and healthy food also with it. So in that vegetable and healthy food, total number means maximum. Okay, that this minimum calories this much is required. When you talk about second point, which is income, so according to 2011 and 12, to determine the poverty, okay, to determine the poverty line. So for a person, it was fixed that 816 rupees, 816 rupee per month. If a person is living in the rural area, so 816 rupees per month in the rural areas. In the rural areas, okay. If a person is living in the rural area, so minimum 816 rupee per month. And if a person is in the urban area, so around 1000 he should okay per okay okay so 860 rupees per month he has to consume, okay, spend in the market for his survival at living in the cities or urban areas. So 1000 minimum 1000 per month we take. So this is about we can say about income and calories. So when we talk about the calories, so 2400 calories and here 2100 calories required, and this is about the income. Okay. So these are the 2 points. One is calorie, another is income. To determine okay poverty line in our country. So according to the data of 2011 and 12, so this much amount is required. So next time we will discuss about next poverty estimates. Okay, next time we will talk about that particular part also.